Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans, and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist, and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health and fitness, body, and mindset from where you are to where it is that you want to be. And I've got a great guest with me, again, becoming a regular on the show now, Liz. I've got Liz Kalabakis, who is a body transformation specialist, and always great to speak with you, Liz. And I'm not going to say Happy New Year because I think it's too late once you get to the end of January, but good to see you again this year.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's always great to have a conversation with you. So let's get straight into it. I think this is a really great topic we've got for today because we're at the end of January, and I want to talk about some of the struggles that you're seeing coming through your clients right now. But it's a really great time of the year where you can see it can either go one way. You're either going to start to create some great momentum and move forward, or you're going to struggle up until probably after Easter and then think, oh yeah, maybe I should do something now. So first of all, before we get into that, last year, 2020, was a huge year for everybody. Our industry was completely wrecked by COVID in many ways, but we're now thriving again right now. I just wanted to ask you, what do you do what did you do at the end of last year, the start of this year, to unwind and rejuvenate yourself and set yourself up for this year?
Are you talking about holidays?
Well, that could be it.
Well, I've been on holidays the whole time. Actually, I've taken this whole thing. I went to Queensland, came back, and I went back to Queensland and came back again. And every weekend so far, I've been going away and enjoying myself. Last year was a big eye opener for me because felt claustrophobic, like I haven't done what I wanted to do. So it sort of made me rethink what I'm going to do in the future, which means if I do have breaks, I'm going to actually have them. So
Yeah, right.
I've stuck to it. I've stuck to it.
So tell me, mindset wise, what do you do over this time? Do you try and just like completely, download, or are you, if you're a bit like me, you can't stop the mind. It's always going, you're always thinking, always creating stuff. But
Yeah.
but what are you doing to?
I'm doing what you're doing. So
Yeah.
I'm always thinking, creating of things in my mind, and this would be great, this would be great. But now I'm learning how to allocate. So I'm starting to get people employed that I allocate work to. So business is much better now because I've got people like a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
And he basically goes into my emails and works out what the accountants need, what the media people need, what suspensions are necessary, what these things were just occupying my brain and they didn't need to be there. So I was a little bit burnt out, uh, because COVID did burn me out because I wasn't used to Zoom training. So I felt really, really burnt out with COVID. So then now I've just allocated this stuff that I don't need to, because as you said, we're booming at the moment, this industry. So business got busier than ever and it's just me. So I've allocated work to people that are more efficient at that than me. So
Yeah.
bookkeepers, accountants, virtual assistants, personal trainers helping me along. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Good.
Liking it. I've sort of worked out that you can only do so much.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a control person. I want to do everything, but allocating it to the right people.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? I mean, you can only grow once you're surrounded by the right team.
Yeah, I found that a lot.
One of the things that, like, I love studying success, and success through, it could be anything, it could be sport, it could be business, whatever. But listening to people talk about the success of them, like those truly successful, humble people never say it was all me, it was just me, I did all this. Yeah, it's all, they always talk about the amazing team that they have around them. And Gillian Michaels, when I interviewed her, same thing, like #1 fitness brand in the world, and she said, I'm so grateful to have the team that I have around me. Yes, she's the personality in front and the pretty face and everything, but it's she couldn't do what she does without those people around her.
And I don't know what happened. I mean, these people were around me, so they knew my business, but I didn't know what they do, in the way of, okay, this is something that they could do. So they approached me, if you need help in that area, I can help you. And I thought, okay, I can only trial this. And it was just, I don't know, the virtual assistant's done hell of a lot. But then again, you got clients that get you to where you are. So
Yeah.
it all starts from, the clientele, and then the clients themselves are in careers which can actually help you grow your business. You start employing them also,
Yeah.
and you realize the people that you're training become trainers because they love it so much. And
Yeah.
I've surrounded myself with the business actually grown, and the people in it are growing it.
Yeah.
So there's not a trainer I have that's an outside trainer. It's somebody that I actually trained from 15 years old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've had a similar experience. Yeah. It
yeah,
really is about creating that family around you, isn't it? You're training the people that you want to train. Well, in a large part, everybody's got those people that you're like, oh man, I could have more people like this and less like that. But you really create this family culture around you. And I think
you
when you
just
nurture
find if
that,
you
a
need
lot of,
someone, just ask. Yeah, you just
yeah,
ask.
a lot of
And
goodness
know
comes out.
someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Referrals is the biggest thing. I always say to my kids that you're on an interview all the time. It doesn't
Mm,
matter who you're talking to. When you're visiting anyone, you're going into a shop, you're getting interviewed, because my kids actually were employed through clientele. And
yeah.
that was only because they were technically getting interviewed. Every time they walked in here, clientele would look at their mannerism
Yeah.
and what they'd be like and who they. So, of course, you'd employ them, because they're employable. So,
Yes.
usually, our kids are going to get employed by people that we know, because they're going to be the 50 and 60-year-olds that have got 60-year-olds that have got businesses that are looking for employees. And they're going to actually look at your attitude and who you are as a person and think your kids would be employable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Your attitude plays a big part with
Yeah.
how
Attitude's
the future,
everything.
yeah, with even the future of your children. I believe that. So,
Mm,
yeah.
mm. So I want to ask you from your client's perspective and what you're seeing. So I'm certainly noticing, like, it's a crazy time of the year with it just is normally, but throwing COVID as well. And some people have gone more crazy at the end of the year with in terms of overindulging in food, alcohol, etc. And just watching people trying to get back into a sort of a rhythm, and some are really struggling to get back into those empowering routines. So I wanted to firstly talk to you. What are some of the habits that you're seeing through, like just general or through your clients that are struggling? What are some of the things they're struggling with?
I think now it's the morning hours. My morning hours aren't as busy as what they used to be. People don't want to get up that early anymore and
Yeah,
that routine like they used to.
yeah,
Evenings are more busier now for me than and days, especially 10 o'clock, which is not really the time slot people used to train.
yeah,
It used to be the 9 o'clock the mums, but now they're going to the 10 o'clock more. So yeah, they are struggling to get in routine, but I do know they need to. So
mm,
thank God for school, because
yeah,
school has kicked some mums up the bum.
yes,
So now they need to take the kids to school. Before that, it was the fact of not having to take kids to school
mm.
so long that they were okay with not getting up in the morning. Now,
So in that, do you see some complacency in things like food and other stuff as well? If they're struggling to come in for an early session, they're also not as
they're not having their breakfast on time. No one's having breakfast. Everyone's staying up late on computer games, of course, and watching TV till late. So, they're hungrier later on in the evening because they haven't woken up early enough to have a good breakfast. So they're having their sugar cravings later. So they're then going straight to bed.
yeah,
So it's a roller coaster. It is a roller coaster. Saying that, there is some people that during COVID, I got great results because they focused on exactly what they needed to do, which is
yes,
their food. So I've
yes,
always said to clients, if you're going to exercise for an extra hour, maybe don't do that. Stay an extra hour in the kitchen, and
yeah. Prepare your food.
your result is going to be much better long term by doing that.
Yes,
Don't go guilt training, because you might as well go guilt shopping, cooking, and prepping, because that works
yes,
better.
yeah,
So I've learned that some of the women that I've had for years, some uh, have lost tremendous weight during COVID, and it was just food prepping because they couldn't get it. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that bit, the most important bit I've got a lady that's been with me for 8 years, and now she's nearly 3 kilos off her goal, and she's kicked ours, and we were struggling for so long. So
Yes.
through COVID, she did an amazing job. So I'm really proud of her. But there's a few of those, just a few of them, that did.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've a similar experience with some clients that have really, I suppose, found their low in COVID to realize it's time for them to really focus and make the changes that they've always needed to, but just haven't been able to. And there's those that have, the general population has really just fallen away, I think. So let's just say that we've got some people listening right now, and they are in that place that's like, yeah, I know I need to get back into this, but they're just struggling. They're still feeling like burnt out. They haven't feel like if they're like me and they've worked all the way through the holidays and everything. It's like, what are some tips that you think we can give people to blow out the cobwebs and start making some empowering choices again?
Okay, so me, I'm always more giving a lot of advice to parents because I've got kids. So it is all about switching off all the electronic stuff at night. You've got to switch it off and go to bed that time slot, whether you can fall asleep or not.
Yeah.
Go to sleep, start doing the whole, go to bed 10 o'clock. Get up whatever time, 8 hours or 7 hours later. Make sure you get at least 7 hours sleep because that's your foundation of health. We've got three pillars. We've got the foundation, which is your sleep, and then there's nutrition and fitness. These nutrition and fitness isn't going to work if sleep isn't right, because that's the main one. So,
That's a really good point there, because I think when people do approach uh, weight loss at the start of a year, which is when that's the biggest goal that people set globally is around weight loss at the start of the year. They think, okay, I just need to start running. I was like, I just need to start doing that, or I just need someone to kick my butt. And I'll say, how's your food? My food's fine. I just need someone to kick my butt, which is code for my food's not fine, uh, and I just want to overtrain. But yet the sleep is so important, and I think we do understate that. And believe it or not, my focus this year is to get more sleep.
yeah,
Because I get up at 20 past 4. I work 16-hour days. If I can get 6 hours sleep, then that's been a good night. But my coach, he wants me to get more than that. And he says, if you think you've slept enough, sleep some more.
I sort of knew that because I was training a sleep doctor. So he was the one that was always explaining to me, get the sleep right and weight loss, because once you get your sleep right, then you're not tired. So therefore, when you're not tired, you can do meal prep. When you're not tired, you're going to go shopping. When you're not tired,
much
you're
better
going to think
choices.
more clearly. You're not going to be so down, and obviously when you're not tired, you can exercise. And it's a roller coaster where if you don't exercise and do weight training, you're feeling tired too.
Yeah.
But the sleep is your foundation.
So before we get to all that, do you talk to your clients about, because you're only going to do that if you've got something that you're working towards, like your poster in the background there, you've got to have that. Well, this is what I want to look like. This is my goal. So do you talk to people about being clear about, I know we've spoken about this previously, but do you talk to people that, look, you really need to create a vision for this year for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I sit down, I sort of talk to them and ask them what their vision is. Some people's vision is just to function and feel better. Some people's to lose weight, but I need to learn what everyone's different goal is, because everyone has got different goals. Not everyone is just ultimately, obviously, everyone would want to lose weight if they're overweight, but some people are just here because, example, husband's on a wheelchair, wants to lift the husband up, when the elevator isn't working. We've got one of those, so I've got to find out what their end goal is. But I find it's the connection between the trainer and the client that's the most important thing. The trainer needs to understand the lifestyle of the client, because there's roller coasters, there's heaps of roller coasters, and you're going to ride them with them. Sometimes there's an end game, I get that, but there's so many interferences that you need to always be aware of them and understand them too, and let them know that once you don't do the right thing, you've got the next 3 hours to do the right thing. So therefore, those through, the mistakes happen less as you're getting better at this. So don't always use the same excuse. Look, I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now I'll start Monday.
Yeah.
So as long as they can be completely honest with me, tell me exactly what went on, and I get an idea of what's going on in their life, because there's so many, especially with kids, so many things can go on. We're only as happy as our saddest child. So I find parents are really roller coaster with weight loss. The ones that go gun ho, yeah, they'll get the result, but they'll put the weight back on.
Mm.
So we need to teach them how to work around what's going on in
Yeah.
their life.
Yeah.
So you can't always be gun ho. I'm certainly not gun ho. There's times where I might do the wrong, I'm thinking, okay, I'm here, I'm going to have this now, but the next 3 hours I'm not. I'm back
Yeah.
on track,
Yeah.
so I want to teach them that life where it's not always, because some people say, oh, look, I don't eat, I have one cheat meal a week. And if I get them to start sending me what they're eating, their cheat meals are every day,
Yes.
they're not aware of it. So you've got
Yeah.
to, so the education, isn't it, Rob? It's just educating them all the
Yeah.
time, because
Yeah.
our lifestyle would be completely different to a client's lifestyle. They're
Mm.
thinking they're eating healthy, but by the time we suss it out, they're actually not. They actually think they are,
Yeah,
because
that's right.
they're still doing what they were doing when they were 19, 21, 22, 23, when the metabolism was working perfectly, and now they're 50, some
Yeah.
of them, and they're still doing, they used to work, they
Yeah,
used to
that's right.
walk, cardio.
Play
So you've got
sport and everything, and they say, I don't know what's going on. I've got a couple at the moment that are probably, between the two of them, need to lose about 70 kilos. And they're really struggling with altering their lifestyle from 3 takeaway meals a week. And like, to me, that's not something that would even come into my thought process, because of what I'm focused on. I'm focused on, the peak end of health and fitness and what a body looks like.
yeah,
But for some people, it's just their reality, that they think it's really hard, and they talk about eating healthy. And I say, just what you said. So tell me what you're eating, or I get them to send me photos of what it is that they're eating, and they think they're doing really well. I'm like, man, that is not good. And so where's the plant food here? Where's where's the protein?
yeah, you're right. Some people still think that porridge and wheat bix is healthy, where for me that's not healthy for me.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying? So we're at a different healthy level, but maybe it is for someone that used to have McDonald's.
yeah, yeah.
Do
That's right. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's where you're at, is where you're going to come from. The other, I tell you what I would do is definitely, see, for me, I actually love it when parents go shopping with their kids, and they start
mm,
preparing, and they start um, organizing their kids to be time managers. This is the time to do that now. They're going back to school,
yeah,
after school, going and buying the products with your children, taking that time to do that, because parents think they're not spending time with their kids, but they can actually spend time with their kids
yeah.
if they
Why are you
actually
doing
talk
this
to
stuff?
them. Yeah, so take them into the shopping centre and give them a little list to one, little list to the other, and list to the other, and get them to run around for you, and then walk back to those products and show them which one would have been cheaper, and maybe they could have got two. Start to think, because they're going to try to nail it for you each time. It's a little competition, doing stuff like that, and then they get their little free apple or free things that Coles or Safeway give to children, just a basket of something
Yeah,
free. But that was one thing I used to do. And then I used to come home and we used to all sit down and chop and talk, chop, because I knew that that would take them away from electronic equipment when they're not talking to me. Because when you do things, kids start talking. They
mm,
might be in a shit that they're doing it. I get that. They're upset they have to do it. But if you don't react to it and you know that you're teaching them this is part of life,
mm,
teaching them such good lessons. And as a mum of 3, I can tell you, when they turn 18 and you can send them up the road and they get a job, they buy the ingredients with their own money and they come home and they're cooking for a family, and you don't have to tell them what to cook because they've done it from young with you. I'm telling you, I'm going to save you so much time, because at the moment I only cook once a week. My kids cook, the other nights, and they've got allocated nights. But I did that from young. As soon as I went to high school, even younger than that, we were doing that. We were shopping together, cooking together, preparing the meals together, and then everyone went to homework and whatever. I know time is tough and they've got homework, but you know
Mm.
what? Everybody is busy, and
Yeah.
they have to learn that is life. You actually have to allocate time. I know everyone wants downtime, but let's face it, downtime isn't on a screen all the time for hours and hours and hours. And then anything you can pull away and you can actually get them to interact and talk, it's great. Even
Yeah.
sports, even sports days for me, I used to say to the kids, because they were too young to make adult decisions, every child's going to want to stay home and play PlayStation. They tried it, all three kids tried that on me. Oh yeah, I'm not really happy with soccer, mum. I really don't like it. And I said, look, I don't care what you do, but Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays is the day we switch off electronic equipment and you can sit down and do absolutely nothing for 4 hours because kids are out doing hobbies. But if you want to sit down, not in front of a TV, not with your mates, and sit around for 4 hours with your hands crossed, you can do that. Honestly, my oldest son, only lasted a week and he was back at his hobbies. The other two didn't even try because he warned the other. What I was going to do to them. So I feel as if people are wanting kids to make decisions, but really they're too young to make
Yeah. Yeah.
adult decisions that might not be good for them later on in life. So we
Yeah.
need to steer them in the right direction. When they've gone to sport, they're going to come home, they're going to eat, they're going to go to bed.
Mm.
Less PlayStation, less Instagram, and really, let's face it, it's not doing them much good. They can have a little bit of it to socialize. I get that, but they're socializing all day at school, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's face it.
So what if we think about, let's take the kids out of the equation for a moment
Yeah.
and say that like the kids are looking after themselves, they're older, people don't have kids and so forth. Maybe think about, I don't know, habits of your most successful success stories. What would you say are the key things that they're doing now to make them successful at
Um,
this time of the year?
Successful is time managing. They're turning up.
So
They're,
turning up to the sessions.
they're persistent. They're not. They know they're not going as hard as they used to. We've spoken about that, and that's because they're weaker. They've had a long break, and the end goal we write down where they were, and they need to work towards that goal without any injuries, because some people want to go gun ho and then injured. So we try to say, okay, this is where you're at now. This is what happened during the big break, but we're going to get to that and see where we are at Christmas.
Yeah.
Because um, if you don't do it, what's the other alternative? You're going to go further backwards.
Nothing. Yeah.
So the fountain of youth, we always say, is building muscle. So
Mhm.
they actually know that they lost so much of it and they felt so old for it. So imagine how good they're going to feel in the years, because right now no one's feeling that good. Everyone's feeling exhausted,
Mm.
less muscle, fatigue, learn to stay up late, like I said, sleeping in the mornings. We've got to get out of all those habits. But I've realised that nutrition, sleep, as I said, sleep's the most important nutrition, and realizing how much muscle they did lose to work towards getting back there. And once we're there, we can move forward.
Yeah.
Not to be too hard on themselves either, because really, just to see what a break could do is a good lesson.
Yes. Yeah, I think all really great points. I think, like you say, I think we're all not feeling in our peak condition right now. I'm certainly not. And even though I've been working consistently
Yeah.
every day this year, it's a case of I've had a bit of a break from my normal training. Still been training, but having a break, but still having finished the year so strongly in many ways, but then having a little break in terms of if I was only working half days or whatever, there's something psychological that says, okay, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get back into that rhythm again, which is why I don't like taking big breaks, because I think, man, I'm scared of how long it's going to take me to get back to, that peak performance where you just bang, bang, bang all the time. But it's important for us to take that break. And like you say, don't be hard on yourself or too hard. Use it as fuel to change where it is that you want to get to. But absolutely having a plan to know, okay, well, I'm here. Where do you want to get to? What's that gap? What's our plan to get there, without just going, okay, if it's 1st of Feb and the kids are going back at school or whatever, and say, bang, I'm going to hit it 100%. That's a mistake. You've got to ease yourself back into it so that you've got somewhere to go, and you're not just hitting it 100% and saying, well, you've got nowhere to go now. You've just hit it at 100%. And now all you've got is 100%.
I go on the 3.5 hour rule, like 3 hours, 3.5 hours rule. That's it. I don't train more than that ever. And I know where I'm going to get to by November. And I just feel like, okay, well, it's the rest of my life, really.
Yeah, that's right.
70, 80, 90 years old, 100, and still doing weight training. And as long as I'm not going backwards, I'm bloody amazing. It's going to be amazing. I mean, seriously, okay, I squat now only 25. I used to do 55 before COVID, and obviously I couldn't get to the gym, and I didn't have a squat rack at home, so I lost all that strength. And that's guttering for me because I've been training from a young girl. I used to do my body weight, and I thought, yeah, nailed it, 55. At 55 I wanted to be, but now, and but by Christmas I'm going to be very close to that, if not the next Christmas. Seriously, It just means that I'm getting older and I'm still strong.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I'm going to get stronger from there. I've got the rest of my life. It doesn't really matter. It's being, for me, it would be being next year and the year after and not being able to sit down on a block and sit up. That would be more.
Yeah.
And that's where I start people off, from people that can't actually come off a chair.
Yes.
Or even come off the ground.
Yes.
And they're as light as me, though.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, doesn't it? But people may not be able to relate to it, but we see people all the time that just getting up off the floor or getting onto the floor. I have clients that can't get onto the floor. It's like, man, I can't imagine that for myself. Yeah. But it's only because I've been focused for 33 years on what's important and just looking to get better every day. I think if we focus on that, keep setting a goals for yourself, just focus on how can I make today better than yesterday?
That's right. And you walk away knowing that you rocked up, you did your job, you're a little bit stronger than last week, if not as strong as last week. It doesn't matter if you didn't nail it. It could be sleep, whatever. It could be lots of other factors that are going on. As long as you did what you did last week or just a little bit better. Walk away. That's it. That's how I deal with all my clients. And it's on paper and they see it. So there's no mucking around. I'm not lying. I'm not changing exercises so I can make them feel as if they've gone stronger and they're sore when they get home. Because that's just, I can make you sore any day of the week.
Yeah, that's right. That just becomes about you rather than them.
I can make a lunge and a kick, and you're going to be sore and you think, oh, what an amazing trainer, that made me so sore. But that doesn't mean you got stronger.
Yeah, that's right.
I give you a lunge and the lunge looks exactly the same 4 weeks later, but the difference is the lunge has got 5 kilos on it, but at the beginning you couldn't even lunge 12 reps with no weight on you.
Or much depth, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's how and I think once people get educated, they get it and they start looking for the trainer. It's not going to smash them.
Yeah.
It's smashed. Just want to rock up, do your job, go home and get the rest of the stuff happening. So.
Yeah, that's right. Well said, Liz. I think another message that you just sort of slipped in there, this is why it's important to get the coach and get the right coach for you so that you can have these conversations and, they become part of our family and we take them on the journey from where they are to where they want to get to. I think that's so important. Thanks so much for today, Liz. Just conscious of our time here. I think we've given a lot of really practical information here for people that they'll be able to relate to. We're not talking about, going for a gold medal or breaking world records here. It's about doing step by step, little by little, but in a logical sequence, so that you can, do a little bit more than maybe you did yesterday, because today's going to pass anyway. So let's just make it a bit healthier.
Yeah, that's right. And if you can see yourself in a month's time and you think my habits were better than the month before, pat yourself on your back.
Yeah.
Exactly what we're doing.
Spot on. Well said, Liz.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Until next time.
Thank you. Bye. See ya.